Good morning, everyone. This is 88 Hawaii, otherwise known as Robert. So, I had a good motorcycle ride yesterday, and I owe a lot of people a bunch of apologies. I screwed up. Things were really messed up yesterday. For one thing, we started off the day with, I started the day off kind of late. I was there on time. I was there at like 9:20. The ride starts at 9:30. We roll out at 9:30, and I didn't publish any maps. I didn't know what kind of response I would get for not publishing the maps, because most of these riders, a lot of riders don't want maps because cops, they're afraid that cops might hang out at certain destinations or certain areas just looking to nail us. Well, now I've got it figured out. I think it's because I didn't put the map, I didn't put the route and the time. I have times, places, and locations, and certain different other riders show up, these guys that like to ride fast, and because I didn't publish any maps, they show up. Now I'm trying different things. I published the ride a month in advance, and the deal with doing that is when you publish really early, word gets out and more people hear about it, and there's invites that get extended. So that was the deal. I did get more riders out, but I wanted to say sorry to a bunch of people that I had told them that we were going to be at a certain place at a certain time, and I didn't do it. And I made the mistake. I really screwed up on that one. First of all, we started the day off with one of the veteran riders. He low-sided his bike. His front wheel locked up, and he dropped his bike. And I know how he rides. He's in the back. He's the sweep. He's watching the people that get left behind, and he stays with them. And so he's doing a good thing here. And so I know what he's trying to do. He's doing the responsible thing. And he's not a fool. He's like I said, he's a veteran rider. Well, he was keeping an eye on this new rider. Okay, this new rider with this funky purple and yellow bike. And the result of that was when he looked the purple and yellow rider bike was all the way to the far right of the road. He wasn't following the 2x2 formation, where you have one lane, two riders on each side, and in staggered formation, two riders behind each stagger. So he wasn't following that. He was all the way to the right. He thought something was wrong, so he looked, and when he turned forward, everybody was at a stop, and this was on the highway. So he slammed on his front brake, and his front wheel locked and screeched for, I heard it screech for over a second, and he low-sided the bike, and the bike went down, and he smashed up his front fairing a good deal, and I think he damaged the headlight too. That's how hard he hit, okay? But he was wearing, he wasn't wearing a jacket, a motorcycle jacket. He was wearing some other jacket, and he's okay though, okay? He got some road rash, but he's okay. Because of that incident, we had to stop and pull over, and because I was trying to keep a schedule, I made some shortcuts, and as a result, I told some people that, hey, we're going to go to this place, this area called Waimanalo McDonald's, and I made a detour around it because I was trying to keep schedule. There were other riders in the path that were waiting for us. Okay, some people could join us like at 12 noon. So we had a path to follow, and I totally missed it, and I screwed up. And some riders stayed behind because they knew that I screwed up, and I didn't realize until much later. You know, I had just returned from Canada. I mean, that's not an excuse. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but I lost my bearings, and anyway, some people got left behind. And then what happened was later on, I tried to make up for lost time by making our breaks very short, and I eliminated some breaks. We just kept riding. So what happened was, toward the end of the ride, we had been riding for an hour and 15 minutes continuously, almost an hour and a half. And what I'm supposed to do was break it down to two 45-minute, break it into 45-minute chunks. And one guy jumped into the bushes on Snake Road. Snake Road is this road that has nothing in between. On either, there's like Haleiwa on one end and Schofield town on another, and that was it. Two towns and nothing in between. If you stop on that road, there's a real good reason why you stop. You don't want to be stopped there, and, like, let's say your bike isn't working. So someone told me somebody got left behind on Snake Road. And so, okay, so I told one of the guys, Jeff Dedicated, that's what his avatar goes by. I told him, well, you know what? Take everybody down to Mililani town, to the Mililani shopping center for lunch. And he said, oh, Mililani Cemetery, Mililani Tech Park. And I said, no, take them down to Mililani Shopping Center. And you know what? They took off, and I went back, and I found the guy that got left behind. He had to use the restroom. He had to pee, so he jumped off his bike on Snake Road where there's nobody. He could get his privacy in the bushes, and everything was okay. He didn't go down. He didn't fall. He didn't run out of gas. His bike didn't break. It was a little fun. It was good, but the result of that was the ride. They were the path got taken to Mililani Cemetery, and then Mililani Tech Park. Well, this guy, everybody knows this guy's a really good rider, and he's a fast rider. So he takes these corners very quickly. And at the beginning of the ride, or during the ride, he asked me, are we going to do any twisties? I said, no, this ride is not a twisties ride. It's a cruise. It's a straightaway cruise. A lot of highway riding. And so he took it upon himself to go to Mililani Cemetery and Mililani Tech Park, where there's a lot of twisties. The result of that was the group was tired. He's a very fast rider. These newbies there's this newbie that followed him, a new rider that followed him, been on the bike for maybe a month, crashed. So I wasn't there. I couldn't find them because after I recovered the guy from Snake Road, we went up to 3 different shopping centers in Mililani, and we couldn't find anybody. Well, the fact is, that was the reason why they never went to the shopping center. They just went to the cemetery and to the Tech Park. So I feel really upset about that. It was just a screwed up day. And then on top of that, after the guy crashed, one guy tipped his bike over and scratched up his fairing. That's it.